All righty. Good morning, everybody. This is Sunday morning for me, but early evening for my guests that are on the podcast this morning. Really happy to say that I was able to reschedule with my guest after being ill for the last, let's see here, I think it's been a good month or so that my household has been recovering and getting sick again. And I think we're finally over that hill where we're not going to be sick anymore. So, without further ado, I was able to get July 15th all the way from Germany, believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken, onto the podcast finally to talk with them. And I'm joined by Julie and Max. How are we doing?
Hello, Will. I'm fine.
I'm fine too.
Good.
I hope
Good to hear.
you had a nice recovery, as we talked about before.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a rocky one, but I think we're on the other side finally. And yeah, shouldn't be any more rescheduling that I have to do because of that reason. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going through the year and have fun talking to people. So let's go ahead and start, guys, with kind of digging in a little bit to the band history. What can you guys tell me about as far as the reason behind the band forming? And if there was any kind of certain like vision you had for the sound, what you hoped to maybe accomplish with your music, and things like that. So I'll let you guys take the reins, so to speak, and share with me the story behind the band.
Okay, so actually the band formed from another band which split. The band's name was Kiraios, and it split in November 2020. So the lead guitarist, the former lead guitarist actually, and the bass player, which is still in the band, got with me and formed the band July 15th. Actually, the band name is just the date when the lead guitarist, the former lead guitarist, I have to say, and I started making music. So it was on July 15th. So we named the band like that.
Fitting.
Yeah, because somewhere we heard it's cool to name bands like dates, so we did it. Yeah, and it's always awkward when someone asks where the name comes from because it's such a not a deep like name. It's just like obvious.
Well, they don't have to be a deep meaning all the time. It could just be a fun little thing or just something to signify, like you guys did, a date. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. And actually, we formed it because I wanted to go on with the music, and I wanted to have an outlet where I can use like singing voice and screaming voice, because I wanted to do both. And yeah, our former lead guitarist Tower was really into metalcore. This is what he wanted to incorporate, but somehow it got into melodic death and groove. Yeah.
What would you have to add to that, Max?
I have to say I'm a little late member of the band, so I just come to the band in October 2023. So I have nothing to do with the founding time of this band. But now I'm here. We have a cool time. Yes, and we hope to make cool songs.
Yeah. Well, the EP that I listened to, I've listened to a good number of times, and I think that you guys are going to be on to even better things with the current lineup that you have and the contributions that you'll have to the music. And I have only good things to say about what I've heard so far about with what you guys have available. Something that I think that you should be very proud of is the fact that the music is really dynamic and it's pretty diverse too. And for you, Julie, I wanted to highlight that when you're singing, in a melodic voice, you have a very symphonic quality with your vocals, with your melodic singing, and it's a really nice contrast. Like if maybe there's like a harsh guitar riff behind it, or like, kind of a fast grooving, punchy chorus or something, everything melds, really well together with the music that I've heard so far. and it really has me excited to hear where you guys take the music next, how it progresses, because the kind of music that you play is one of my favorite kinds of music. It's metal, but it's got a lot of different qualities to it. You mentioned groove a lot, and there's definitely a lot of groove in there. And then you have, like I said, the symphonic kind of touches to it, and you do have some of that metalcore in there. You have the melodic kind of like hard rock aspects to some of the choruses too. Yeah, I love what I hear, guys, like wholeheartedly, and so I'm excited for the future. And I also wanted to touch on a little bit about how you write in general. You could talk about how you're writing with any former members versus the experience you have currently with music that you could be working on right now. Like, what's it like for July 15th when you create the music?
Okay, our way of songwriting definitely improved since the EP. Also, the recording stuff improved. When we had our former guitarist, which made the EP with me together,
Right.
we sat in my home studio and recorded on an e-drum kit and a guitar, only the lead guitarist and me, because he was a multi-instrumentalist, so he can play bass, drums, and guitar. And so he was like marinating the songs in his brain, and when he thought he was ready, we were recording, and then I demoed the vocals on it, and this is how we did it. But we had never something written down.
Uh-huh.
And now we do it together, I'd say. We'll, I don't know Mac's approach, but I have like a Guitar Pro program software, whatever, and I'll have like my piano next to us here, or actually it's two pianos, and I'll write on the piano, and then I transpose it to the guitar, and I show it to Max if it's okay, if he can play it, and if he finds it cool, and I also write the drums to it directly, because I need the beat and stuff to feel it, if it's cool or not. So yeah, that's how I do it. And if Max is satisfied, then I show it to our drummer and our bassist. And if they are satisfied, we work on with it. Yeah.
Yes, I just have a little different approach because I am a guitarist, so I'm writing the songs directly on the guitar. I'm just sitting there playing, and if I find a riff is cool, I write it down also in Guitar Pro. It's very important to do that, I think. Yes, and then I go on, make some other riffs for the chorus, the verse, or the solo, intro, and stuff like that, and then think about harmonizing stuff. Yes, and that is the way I am writing the music, and of course we also every time we talk about what was written, so everyone is satisfied. What we have in common is that we want to write cool music, and of course, and hard riffs. Sometimes I want to overdo it all the time in the songs, and I like the more technical aspects in playing, and so I put too much notes also in the chorus or in some spaces where Cherry needs to sing, and so she needs more space and not to show how good my guitar skills are.
Yes, yeah, because he's definitely more into the technical death metal stuff, and you definitely will hear it on the new stuff, so to say. So it's less metalcore then and more technical melodic death, I'd say.
Yes, because I started interesting myself the last year to get more into the technical aspects of playing guitar, and also starting to take guitar lessons from a technical guitarist. That's very good. So I want to increase my own abilities as a guitarist. I'm not there where I want to be, but I think I'm on a good way. Yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I think that's awesome that you're willing to learn more, because you can never stop learning when it comes to most things in life. And that's a really good sign to me because in general, it sounds like the band is very interested in developing and growing as musicians, getting tighter, the bond forming stronger. So that's very positive for me to hear, from you. And then when it comes to like lyrics and stuff, is it just would you rather go by Cherry or Julie? Well, I'm asking.
All my friends call me Cherry, so it's cooler if you call me like that.
All right, I'll call you Cherry. Is it
cool,
just you that writes the lyrics, or do you like it when somebody wants to come to you with an idea for lyrics as well and see what fits together?
So we have different approaches, I'd say. Most of the time when Max writes songs, he has like an idea in mind what it should be about. Sometimes it's like a phrase or he tells me a few feelings he wants to have in it, but normally he won't give me a whole lyrics. So normally I write the whole lyrics, just the idea comes from him or from me. So
Yes, every time I'm writing a riff or a song, I develop a topic in my mind and I name the song. So some of the songs are named by me and I have a special meaning by that, but I don't have any idea how to find the words to make it as a lyric. So that is her business. She is much better than me in that to find the correct words. So yes. So that is, but maybe that is also the reason why I sometimes overdoing it and put too much notes into it because I don't think about the lyrics and also the singing at the first time. So I have to reduce it, and then she makes it better.
Yeah, but you're having fun though. It sounds like that's also awesome. Having fun.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Okay, that is the most important aspect in music. Music has to make fun.
Yep.
If you don't make fun, it doesn't have any sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
It doesn't.
And don't force it.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
It's actually the most fun part for me in making the music is playing it live and writing your lyrics. But also, I just learned how to write music, I have to say, I know how to do it, but my first tries are not that far away, I have to say. And yeah, it's definitely fun as well.
Yeah. Well, I love that. So as far as really good insights about how you guys write and everything, I want to dive into and I know that Max may not have much to say about this, but the experience with writing Agony of Earth, the EP. That when I first heard that, I'm like, man, who pissed these guys off? It sounds like angry, and it's like it's heavy. It's got that. Obviously it's got a lot of the groove. It's got the death elements to it and everything. But it sounds so angry, and I'm just sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, oh man, like I love how that's getting channeled into the energy of the music, and so I kind of want insight on what the process was like for that EP, like writing it, and like how if it felt good to get a lot of that stuff off your chest, as far as the topics or the meaning behind the lyrics of the album, and just the overall process for it.
Okay, for the songwriting, also for the writing of the music, it's Tower, the old guitarist, marinated it in his head alone. So I always just hear the finished product, even if I was the one who recorded everything. So what I knew from him, what he told me was that some of the songs, like Monster, he wrote when he was 16 years old.
Wow.
And he wrote it for other bands and took it for our band because the other band split up, but it was okay for me because I felt the energy of the song and made something new out of it. So that's the approach I had. I can tell about the lyrics a little bit more and about the meaning of the Agony of Earth, because in German we have like a word for it. It's called Weltschmerz. It means world pain. And actually one of the songs, Couldn't Care Less, is about that. actually inspired by a song from the German band, punk band Die Ärzte. It's really popular here. And yeah, it's about when you look at the world and how it is and how we lack empathy and how we lack understanding for other cultures. And when you see that and feel that, or how do you, when you see how we treat animals and all the bad stuff, and this feeling which makes it in your, or what it causes in your, this is called Weltschmerz or world pain. So this is what it's dedicated. So we're a band which talks about society criticism as well as psychological stuff, like jealousy is about being jealous, and our hospital is about having phobia for hospitals, And it's actually inspired by a Buffy episode. If you know Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yes,
there was
yes.
this one episode where they were in the hospital. She was in the hospital, and there was like I don't know the English word because I watched it in German, but there was like not a ghost, but something similar. And yeah, Monster is about Mother Nature having enough of humanity and seeing it as a sickness and sending natural catastrophes. Yeah. And the Countess actually is about getting cheated by your best friend. So your best friend's cheating with your boyfriend or something like this. Yeah.
A little bit about the name of the song.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the Countess, yeah, it means actually it's from Countess, which is like not a king or a queen, but something beneath that, like and Kant obviously is an insult, and it's a fusion of both words. So yeah, I thought it would be a funny title for it.
Well, I definitely had a little bit of a laugh when I saw the song title, and I'm like, well, I can't wait to get to this song and seeing how angry this one sounds, because it just the title itself, and then when I'm listening along to it and going through the lyrics while I'm listening, I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to be an enemy of this person, because it doesn't sound like they would mess around at all when they get betrayed.
Yeah. No. So, actually, music is the outlet, so we don't have to be aggressive or anything.
Right.
In our private lives, we let it out in music. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Music is a beautiful thing for that. It is a very cathartic and therapeutic outlet. So yeah. Absolutely.
Totally agree about that.
Yeah, but I love your explanations for the songs and some of the memes and stuff, like especially when you're talking about the world. It's mostly, not all the time, but mostly it's a pretty dark, kind of cold, and we lack empathy. World around, we lack empathy for each other, and we spend a lot of time wanting others to think like we do, and saying, you're wrong because your frame of thought doesn't match my ideals for the world. I'm guilty of that myself. I think we could all be guilty of that, because it's kind of a natural thing for you to want to do if you feel like something's wrong. You want to kind of, in a way, judge it, or you want to. I think judging is also something that could be a little bit misunderstood, because in a way, I want to say that judging is also a way that you seek to understand something, while you're disagreeing in principle with whatever it is, and you might be judging the person or whatever, it might be, you're still looking for that understanding, because it's it's puzzling you. So I love your worldview as far as like approaching some of the songs from that, what you're seeing in the world, And then it sounds like there's a little bit of mental health kind of stuff that you touched on in there, and I love that. It's self-love and self-care is important. You got to take care of your mind, and you got to show compassion and empathy for people that are going through probably very similar things in their life. So very, very awesome to hear that you like to write about that stuff and give something for somebody to relate to. I think that's awesome. And then let's talk about the concept for the horror hospital video. I really liked how you did that. That was really cool.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
So actually, it was. It's really funny what we all had in there. Actually, some parts, the parts with the dentist chair, was filmed in my former cellar, like from my old apartment. We had like a huge cellar building where everyone from this huge complex had like a cellar. And we were filming in the floor over there and having like this dentist chair up and always scared that someone enters there. And we wanted to have like creepy figures like in the Buffy episode I mentioned before. We wanted to have like scary stuff. So actually our bassist is an electrician.
Oh, wow.
And how we got the dentist chair I'm about to tell. And he was at the dentist and he should change the chairs. And he had the possibility to take the old chair with him. So it's another story how we got rid of that thing.
Yeah.
Because it was sitting a lot of time in my cellar and I didn't know how to do it with it. But yeah, so he got it and brought it to us and we thought, okay, it would be a nice part of the video, so we'll take it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And other parts were filmed in the other rehearsal space of our drummer, like the floor episodes where we see the normal floor, where I like run and crash against the walls and stuff, and where also where the how do I call it? The nurses, the male nurses, it's partially at our old drummer's rehearsal space, but in the entrance then, yeah, we had a friend coming by with a car who was like just driving me there. And also the actresses, so the doctor and like the two girls which were in the video, these were actually the helpers of the dentist where we got the chair from.
Oh, that's pretty
They
cool.
wanted to be part of the video, so yeah. And so we wanted to make something creepy, and it's about horror hospitals, but we couldn't find a hospital to film in because it's really hard to find like a lost place where
Oh, yeah. Very.
it like this. And so we decided to incorporate like dentists because it's like similar phobia, I would say. It's also a doctor, so this is why we incorporated that. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
At the beginning, you see that I get like the injection and stuff. So they are bringing me to the horror hospital in that moment, so to say.
Here in the States, the phobia for like doctors or dentists or whatever, we call it white coat syndrome. Here in the States is what we call that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like because you associate painful things or something being uncomfortable when you go to the dentist or the doctor, or hearing something that's like really bad news or something, so you avoid it.
Yeah.
So, no, that's pretty cool. I like the concept of what you guys did to make that video because it's very DIY, do it yourself kind of approach. And so, are you like inspired by like a lot of horror and like scary things then when it comes to like incorporating it into music, and then like when you do a video? Because I kind of get the impression that you are.
So we don't have so much videos out there at the moment. Actually, at one point there was one for Jealousy, but I deleted it because the audio quality was really, really bad because it was a former like recording.
Right.
And we do everything ourselves, like from the first note to the last tone, which is played there. So I record everything, I engineer everything, I make the videos. Our former guitarist directed the videos, actually, and I will cut it up and make it into a video. So this is how we do it, and with every video we learn. And yeah, that's why it doesn't just have a DIY character, it is totally DIY. And I think the cover of I Follow Rivers, which is also on the YouTube channel, is also in my cellar. And as we did these two things in the cellar, it's like creepy. We wanted to make it creepy, so
Yeah.
because we are fans of the horror movies, but it shouldn't be the whole theme every time because the next video will be scary as well, but in another direction, not for horror or something. No.
I'm excited to hear and see it.
Yeah, actually, for the new music video for Ocean Ruins, this will be released on the 3rd of July.
Nice.
We will have like footage from an activist actually for economy, so for the nature and stuff. So he's called Dmitry Lysenko. It's the son of Mara Lysenko, if you ever heard of her from the Mara metal band.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. And I haven't heard that cover yet that you just mentioned, by the way. I meant to listen to it this morning because I saw it on your YouTube channel, but I kept getting distracted, like doing other things, like leading up to our interview today, where I would forget to listen to it because I intended to. So unfortunately, I don't know how that turned out yet, but I will be checking it out. Because I love covers, like especially if it's I like it when bands cover songs that aren't always covered, if you know what I mean. Like here in the States, and I don't know if it happens in Germany or other countries, where a lot of what's covered are like those really popular hits. I like when a band covers something that's kind of like a less popular hit or more obscure kind of song that kind of flexes more of like I guess the creative chops that the band has to like interpret a song in their own kind of way, which I'm sure is what you did with the cover that you mentioned. So are you planning on doing any other covers in the future?
Oh, we were thinking about covers actually. Actually, we asked the drummer of the Agonists, Simon, if
nice.
we have like the tabs for one the Agonist song we wanted to cover, but he didn't. So we have to listen it and figure it out how to play it. So yeah, I don't know if we'd have time for that, but maybe we'll have some covers.
Yes, hopefully. The Agonist is one good example. I also would like to make a cover version of a Nevermore song because I am a very huge fan of Nevermore and of course of Jeff Loomis. He's maybe some kind of god to me.
Great band. Yeah.
So I'm very glad that the band is reuniting at the moment. So maybe there will be covers in the future.
Yeah, we definitely have another cover planned, which I will just remember now because I don't know if you know the song Bella Ciao, which is an activist song.
I think so. I think I do.
It's an Italian song for like left activists about or against fascism, and as the fascists rise at this moment all around the world, so we wanted to cover that one.
I'll look into it to make sure I do know it because it's familiar. It sounds familiar, but I want to be sure. And yeah, I'm excited to hear that cover too. And may I throw this in the ring too? I actually think that you'd be able to pull off covering a band like In Flames or In This Moment or heck, I think you'd even Within Temptation, bands like that. I think you guys would probably nail those. I know it sounds probably like a little bit like, oh, In Flames, really? Like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think In Flames would be great. Within Temptation, actually, I covered with another band. Would definitely fit vocally, but I always get bored if I just do one vocal style. So I definitely, if we cover something from Within Temptation, I definitely would make it harder at some point and incorporate some screams.
Yes, and in Flames is it's really good that you mentioned that band because I don't listen to this band right now so often, but in my past it had such a huge impact on me, on what music I like and how to play something, because I grew up with some of their in my opinion, greatest songs.
Mhm.
Of course, I love Only for the Weeks, and I think the band had for many years a really great impact of how to feel music.
Yeah. I
No, I
definitely
agree.
love the album Come Clarity. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Come Clarity, man, that's still one of my favorite albums like ever made. Like I love like that was a big shit. There was a shift in their fan base as far as how it was received because they moved into a lot more of a melodic sound with that
Mm.
record. And people kind of thought like, oh man, what, you know, they're not so much of that, you know, like more of a technical like death metal like they started out being. Well, it's like, yeah, but okay, bands want to grow and bands want to try other sounds. You know, it's only a natural thing to occur. So there was division when that album came out, but me personally, I think it's better than some of their older albums. That might be blasphemous to say if, you know, fans of Id Flames hear it and be like, what are you talking about? It's just my opinion, but, you know, especially the title track, you know, from the album, that song just hit me like a ton of bricks, you know?
Yeah, that's a really
You know,
cool song.
I'm
yeah.
more into the phase starting from the Just a Race. Lunar Strain is not so mine, but Just a Race and Till Clayman is more my style of music. But I think Come Clarity is a really good album. The album before was, in my opinion, really awful.
Mm-hmm.
But Come Clarity is a good album. I mean, I really like the song Crawl Through Knives.
Yes. Oh, Crawl Through Knives is a definite one I go to a lot too. It's awesome. um, let's talk about a little bit before we get into more of like plans for new music and you know things like that. I want to ask you guys. You've played with the newer lineup live, right? Have
Yes.
you? What's the live show like these days when it comes to July 15th? Like, what do you guys do as far as preparing? And what do you hope to achieve when you're on the stage?
Yes. So at first we definitely improved since the old lineup. We have a new drummer, we have a new
Mhm.
guitarist. We just have one guitarist now because it's really hard to find good musicians here in East Germany. I have to say because I maybe in West Germany it's easier, but here in the East it's a bit harder.
Right.
Because it's just small cities and nobody has money. so being a musician is a whole part is you have to invest a lot of money into your music.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, at first we stepped up and incorporated some backing tracks into our music when we play it live, so we can cover or it doesn't really feel empty if the second guitarist is missing because we really need it.
Yeah, I can
Sometimes you have like
understand that.
lead tracks. Yeah, this is what we did, and we tried to write down the old songs definitely to
Mhm.
exercise it a lot. And yeah, I think we played more shows with the lineup than with the old lineup actually.
Yes, we played a lot of shows in the last year. It was also a little bit surprising to me that we make it so fast, but it was really great. At the beginning, we had one other guitarist, but we didn't come together in the style, so we said, okay, then we go different ways. But everything is okay. It was just that we have different views in the music, so it's okay. But it's a good way to using backing tracks. Of course, you are losing some freedom on live stage in the performance because the drummer have to play on a click.
Right.
We cannot say we rest in a one moment in the song and say we can act a little bit with the crowd. So, but it's okay.
You
For
can
Oh,
now.
incorporate that.
yeah,
if
I
you
mean,
want. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I mean, backing tracks have their place and they have their purpose 100%. And I don't really understand why some people have such an issue with them because there's a reason why they're used, especially in your case where you have a missing element for the live show, and so you do what you can to give that to the people that are attending. So I completely think that that's 100% valid and the right way to go about it, because you don't want it, like you mentioned, you don't want like it to sound like empty or like that part of it's missing. And so that's what you guys do to kind of remedy that, to make the live show sound as full as it can sound. So I think that's, active thinking, I guess I would call it, to problem solve something. Give me 1 second. My kiddo's crawling on the counter right now. I got to get him down really quick. I'll be like 20 seconds.
Okay.
No problem.
I have returned.
Welcome back.
Yes. But no, that's awesome. The live show, I don't know if people that don't play music think about this, but the live show is not an easy thing to pull off. I know from the crowd it might look like, you go up there, you put on, put your guitar over your shoulder, the strap and everything, your drummers gets behind the kit, your bassist gets his instrument, the vocalist, does what they do. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of technical things that go into setting up a live show, like so many things. And so many things could go wrong too at any given second, and often they do. And where I'm going with this is, with your experience, if something technical happens during your live set, like say if you use like in-ear monitors, like say that it goes out, or maybe Max's live rig, his cab or his amp or whatever, something goes on with that, or his pedals or something. You guys just kind of go with the flow when that happens, and let your stage, what are they called, guitar techs or whatever, come in and save the day. Like, how do you guys just keep the show going if that happens?
So for my part, the worst thing which can happen is that that I don't hear anyone. So, but if my in-ear monitoring goes out, I just pull it out and then I try just to do it like the old times,
Right.
like hearing the drum set behind me and try to hit the note right. And Max sometimes he has like a Helix. He's playing with a digital modeler, so he don't have an amp or a cab.
Okay.
It's all from the Helix. And sometimes he hits the.
So the first one I started last year using a Helix. Of course, I had a pedal board in my former band. But the Helix is another experience, and at the first show I used it live, I was pushed a button and it was one button and it was completely in another mode. So it was really awful. I had the different sounds everywhere, and not also the different the wrong sounds on the completely different preset. So it was really awful, and I think it was really awful for the crowd too. But we tried to make it anyway. And but in that case, also using the backing tracks playing by track is also a good thing, because you can use MIDI control change to bring in the right time, every time the right sound. And that is a really technical aspect of making a live show. So that is really a huge thing. And as you said, in the modern world, any more challenges, and making an in-ear rack is one of the things. So, but yes, so the live show is really important, and it's just the technical aspect, also the performance. Because there's nothing more boring than you're staring at the stage and seeing the musician standing on the one place, looking down at the instruments, and they do nothing. That is boring. So that is really important thing to think about when you go on stage.
Yeah. Actually, it's really good that we now have like a live player which changes his sounds automatically. You don't have to stomp on the pedal boards anymore. So we have something that changes it automatically. And for me, the live performance is not just singing a funny song; it's like performing it really to give like 1,000% and being very energetic on stage and kicking and running my ass off and whatnot. Yeah.
You do any backflips?
No, I cannot do that, but maybe I should learn.
Maybe.
I'm afraid to do athletic things with the guitar, so turn around on the neck.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do it.
I've seen a couple of times in person, see it a live show, but a lot of YouTube videos where a guitarist or a bassist will do that little thing with the strap just disconnects from whatever part of it, and their bass guitar, their guitar just goes slinging out. It's like,
But it's really good on the live performance. I think she is the best in our band related to that. The other people we have a little bit to learn about it, but she's on a real great level.
Yeah, so I do work out a lot. I think that helps.
Yes, probably does. Do you guys have any like bands that you would like love to open for or do like a run of shows with?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have a few we would love to open for or run shows with. I think we agree on that we would love to open for Arch Enemy.
Yes.
Because
that'd
we
be sick.
both love this band. And also, like when we talk from German bands, like Hi-Res would be a cool choice. I have the hoodie on here. Well,
that's cool.
you see it?
Yeah.
So this one, and what else?
Yes, a German band and not a really new band. I don't know if you know Retromorphosis.
Maybe.
Another band from Christian Münzner.
Yeah, it's a band from Christian Münzner, the former members of Spawn of Possession. It's brutal technical death metal, so I would really like to open for them, but of course it is very different style in the music. If we talk about more fitting styles in music, I would love to open for Inferi. Do you know them?
Who was it again?
Inferi.
Maybe I might. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
It's technical melodic death metal, so maybe it's an underground thing, but really cool. And of course, Crypta from Brazil. We are both fans from, and I would love to open for Nevermore. It would be the honor of my life, I think.
Totally.
Yeah. Here's one I think you guys would have a lot of fun with, and you might be different styles, but you're still both heavy, and since you both incorporate like melodic elements into your music, like pretty much most of the time, Lacuna Coil, I think you guys would really have a lot of fun with and do very well with.
Oh, definitely, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I actually, when I was listening to your band, I honestly think that there's parts in some of the songs where you kind of remind me of her a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I just know one song from the Kuna Soil from the Resident Evil Apocalypse soundtrack.
Oh, really?
I think it's called Swamped.
Yeah, I would implore you to check out more of their music if it's a style that you enjoy. Because I really love them. I think they're really great.
Again, I'll do that tomorrow at work.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. I think, who knows, maybe you guys will actually get your dream answered and be able to do some shows with some of those bands that you mentioned. I think anything's possible, and be open to anything too. Like even if it's like a punk band wanting you to be on the bill with them to open for them, take the show. Or like if it's like a hard rock band or something like that, take the show, because doors open when you do stuff like that that's not maybe expected. So and then let's go, before we start getting towards wrapping up, I want to talk more about what to expect when it comes to the music that you're writing now, because you did mention heavier, you did mention as far as I recall, as far as like trying certain things with the new music, incorporating other things in with it, to add more layers of dynamics. I would love to hear more piano stuff like that. I am a big fan of like acoustic parts in songs, things like that. What could you tell me more of when it comes to the music that's not out yet?
Oh, I've definitely written a song which has a piano intro, so maybe you'll like that one.
I'm
So
sure I
don't
will.
tell too much because it's not recorded now, but it's in the process.
Yeah.
So I hope it will make it on the next release. Yeah. And for acoustic parts, we don't have yet written, but who knows? Maybe there will be something like this.
But I am very into it to make also some acoustic guitar parts, because I really love playing acoustic guitar. I started learning guitar with the finger picking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The fingerstyle guitar. So I really love it, and also there are so many great bands with any time also complete songs or acoustic guitar intros. Also, one example, I really love "Desolate Race" of Morbid Angel. It's a great acoustic song. I really and I really like to play it. So I think that is not completely impossible to add also stuff like that into one song.
Yeah, and for the two songs which are actually ready to go at the moment, it's called, one of them is called Ocean Ruins. I think I can mention that because we already announced it on our Patreon and I think on our social media as well. This one's definitely, with this song, we try to build the bridge between the new style and the old style, because we lost our former main songwriter. We had to somehow figure out how we could make like the band still work.
Right.
And not losing the fans, because we want to be true to our fans, but also write music we like.
Mm-hmm.
So with the song Ocean Ruins, I was telling Max and the old guitarist which left, we were telling Max, please keep it a bit simpler, because he was like having their solo and more technical stuff, and but we had to hold him back a little bit.
Yes, it was a really difficult thing for me to write the first July 15th song, because I am not so much into groove. And also, I have to be honest, I am not the very rhythmic geek. I am the more technical shredding player. That is more my business. But I think we made it. It was the beginning for a bridge from both phases of the band, and I think it is really cool. And related to your question before. The next song, one of the next songs, Liquid Maze is called. It has had a more epic intro. So I really like to use epic elements in the music, because I really love power metal, fast power metal and epic power metal.
Yes.
I really love that. And so I think, a little bit more epic elements are also.
And also the one of the next songs, Through the Frame, which we also have so ready that we already perform it live, but not have it released into the world now. This is actually the first song where I wrote some parts for the music, not only the lyrics and the vocals. So I hope the fans will like that one when we release it.
Yes, and this is the first one we tried out with harmonizing guitars.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The other part, in the most parts, the guitars are playing the same. Maybe, of course, and sometimes there is a little lead into the song, but not harmonizing both guitars. And we try that in that song the first time. So we also hope that people like that.
Yeah.
I know I will because we mentioned them earlier in the talk. In Flames does a lot of those harmonizing guitar parts. You know, they do like harmonizing leads, harmonizing rhythm parts. You know, so personally for me, I'm gonna love that. You know, you putting that into a song. So I say thumbs up to that for sure.
That's great. So I
Yeah,
really love how to harmonize death. The
yeah.
older death parts, I really love the harmonizing stuff in that, and maybe that is also a little inspiration to me.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to the next releases, but I think I did miss if you have said or haven't said, and if you don't want to say yet, that's fine. When is the Ocean Ruins coming out? Do you have a date for that?
Yes, we already have a date for that. Actually, we're trying to find a date where we film the music video, so I can produce the rest. But we plan on releasing it on the 3rd of July this
Okay,
year.
sweet. Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier back in the talk. I remember that. Yes. So yeah, in the month that you did the band name too, just a little bit before. That's pretty cool. Well, I mean, some other things that I want to ask that are kind of more of like fun little things are this one kind of stumps some of the guests that I have on because it's such a random thing to ask, but I love the reactions. But when it comes to July 15th, if you could name like a food or a beverage that would be a good way to describe the band's sound, what would you guys potentially pick?
That was a really cool question,
Yeah.
actually. That makes me think.
I think I don't know have concrete stuff, but I think a vegan. So we are both vegan, so I have to say vegan casserole because you can add many things together and put some really delicious result.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it has the delicious cheese on it, and it's always
Ooh,
very,
yeah.
very yummy. So yeah,
Yes.
that's a great one.
Yeah, good choice. I
I
agree.
I think I'd say a salad because you can add so much stuff in it, but a casserole is more cool because it tastes always good.
No, I agree. I think those are great choices. And then let's see here. What's your favorite horror film?
Oh, that changes from time to time.
Yes.
Um,
If I think a little bit more old school, it would be the old Omen
Ooh,
movies.
nice.
yes, that's
I
great.
really like that. And
From the latest horror movie history, I would say like the Heretic. You know that
Oh,
one?
yeah. I don't think I've seen that one yet. I want to though.
It's because I don't like the jump scares and the bloodiness. I just get sick of that. So I need to be scared in my mind, if
Right.
that makes
Yeah.
sense to you. So
Yes.
this film is so bizarre and like shocking at moments that I think this is really, really, really scary.
and I really like also the cool atmosphere. So if you put the Alien movies into horror sci-fi, I would also say Alien.
Oh,
I like
yes.
Aliens, Xenomorphs,
Yeah,
and it is a really great horror movie. And it all aspects I like in movies and also in music. Some
Yes.
relaxing part, atmospheric parts, some hard
Yes.
parts.
I love that you
the
mentioned.
newest one is great as well. The
Yes.
Rolos.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I love that you mentioned Alien because a little bit of like facts about me is the xenomorph to me at least for me anyways, is the scariest creature or like monster, alien, whatever, for me that I've seen in any movie. Like when I watch those movies, I watch all of them pretty much every year. And I watch the shadows when it gets dark. You know, I'm just like sitting, like I'm just looking around like this. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna have one of these things pop out, you know, and try and get me. And just last,
Oh, it's just the camera.
it's okay.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it. But is this really, as you said, with Alien and the Xenomorph, and also like the artist behind the Xenomorph, the artist Giga from Switzerland.
Yes.
And I think also an impact into the model because, you know, of course, yes, that there are many bands use those Xenomorphs as a cover artwork. So
there we go.
Okay, shall we fix it?
It's trying.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's good. There's always something. It's all right. But no, yeah, Alien, like that's probably my favorite horror sci-fi films of all time. My favorite is the second one, though.
So I really like the second one as well. I like the first one. Also, which one? The third one was the one with the prison, right?
I
This
think,
one I find great as well. I don't know why, because we have another type of alien there.
Yeah,
because it's from a cow or from a dog. I think they have different also versions of the movie. I think there's a version where it's from a dog and one where it is from a cow. I just don't like the fourth one, to be honest.
I know it is not the best, but I like it anyway, and I also like the more, I think, silent movies. Like I forgot the name of the.
Is it a newer movie or an older movie?
Yes, the more newer ones. I forgot the name.
Could it be like in A Quiet Place movie or Bird Box or trying to think.
We just watched Bird Box. Right?
Yes, Bird Box is also great.
Yeah.
Is it the
I think I might know the one you're trying to name, but it's not coming to me.
Is it the one where there are monsters and you cannot be loud, or which one do you mean?
You are not allowed to see them.
You're not allowed to
in
see
Bird
them.
Box. With Sandra Bullock.
No, I was asking which one you mean. Wait,
I meant an alien movie. Because in the alien movies are fast a little bit times, but there are
they're playing with the dynamics of the music.
The two movies explaining the story before the alien movies.
So
Alien, what's the name right now?
Alien Covenant and Prometheus. Yeah. No, I like those too. I honestly thought that they were better than what people gave them credit for, in my opinion.
When I watched it first, I didn't recognize that it's an alien movie. Actually.
Yeah. No, you're not alone there. I know some people that said the same thing when they went in to watch it, and I'm like, oh well. I mean, I can see why. You know, I really can. But yeah, no. So I think we're about at the end here. I think it's been really fun, awesome talk with you guys. I hope that if I could gain you at least one more fan. If whoever watches this, I'll be happy because I think you deserve to be heard. You have plenty to offer the listener, and I'm really excited for what the future holds for your band. I'm really excited to hear the new tunes, and I am more than happy. I like to plug this in there. I'm more than happy to write up reviews for like songs or EPs or whatever. Just because just so it gets out there, you can post it around. So if you're interested in something like that, just let me know. I'm happy to do it. And yeah, I hope you've had a good time chatting. I think it's been fun.
We find it more fun as well.
Yes, really happy Yeah, happy
Yeah.
with the podcast. Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
it was really great.
Yes, thank you for having us, and we were really glad that you answered us when you were asking for some people to join your podcast. Yeah.
So thank
Yes.
you very much for the opportunity, and I will recommend your podcast
Thank
to
you.
other people.
I appreciate that very much. That's always good to hear. I'm open to and willing to talk to pretty much anybody. It's not very common that I turn anybody down from the podcast. You know, it would take a really specific thing for me to be like, I'm not real sure if this is going to fit or not. Hasn't happened yet, as far as I can recall. Yeah, I don't think it's happened yet. Hopefully, it won't happen. But yeah, no, I agree. Been a lot of fun. Look for this up on the YouTube later today. I've still got to upload one from yesterday that I did. Couldn't do the second one yesterday due to a family thing I had to attend to. But hopefully making that one up next week or the week after. But yeah, I'll be sharing this around. I'll be putting up on the YouTube. I'll be doing a little bit of promo for you guys on the Liars Pacifist Facebook page, getting people to go to your socials and check out the music. And I'll be happy to bring you guys back on when some music is coming out. Maybe we could say July when the new song's going to be coming out. And we could chat again.
We'd love to. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks for coming on. It's always nice getting bands on from all over the globe. And yeah, we'll be in touch for sure. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day and stay metal.
Stay metal.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank